Hello YouTubers, and welcome back to Go Figure Customs YouTube channel. I've got a request that I'm going to give it a shot and see how it goes. That was to kind of review my customs as I get them done, to kind of go over what I had in mind and kind of show some of the features that don't necessarily show up in the pictures that I take. So I'm going to do that. The custom that I'm going to review, I guess, is my female Cobra rock viper. As anyone that knows me very well knows that I'm a huge fan of Cobra specialty vipers. I have quite a few of the vintage ones in my collection, and over the years I've made numerous customs of different specialty vipers, alley vipers, night vipers, and so on and so forth, range vipers in particular. And the last year or so I've had a, not necessarily an idea, but I've just wanted to make female versions of those figures. And I've done quite a few of them last year: alley viper, range viper, night viper, frag viper, heat viper, and I think those customs came out really well. So today I'm going to show you my Cobra rock viper, which I just finished. So let's have a look at it. This is the female Cobra rock viper that I've just completed with all her gear. Kind of in frame there. Sorry, I'm kind of just doing this for the first time to see how it works. If I get some decent feedback on this and it seems like it's interesting to everybody, I'll do it on the next figure as well. So my base figure was a Marauder Task Force Valkyrie figure. The head was custom cast. I couldn't tell you from what. The ponytail was from another head that I attached to the back of that. I probably, if you follow the channel, you saw the video where I put the rare earth magnet into her back. You can kind of see it there, right up there. I'm going to work on getting a little bit better about making sure those are a little more difficult to see. But overall, I think that worked out pretty well. Her belt has climbing gear, so got climbing axe and, you know, what would be like a rappelling figure 8. And then this has what would be like carabiners. You know, obviously they're just jewelry accessories, but in the scale, it looks like climbing gear. All right, so that's her. And then kind of did an homage to the original backpack, but updated it a little bit. I had a camel back from another, like, it wasn't BBI, but it was a similar line of toys. That was, I think, the last one of those that I had. I did use the original vintage bling hook and Marauder Task Force backpack. I took the bottom off of a vintage rock viper backpack and set it on, put it into the bottom for the spool, and then from some parts that I had from my buddy Jimbo, I fashioned a new rocket launcher that pivots. Has a little bit more of range of motion. And then you can see there's the rare earth magnet on the back there. So updated backpack a little bit, but still kind of an homage to the original. Oops, sorry. I used a vintage, or a Marauder Task Force rifle, and then got a drum for it instead of the magazine that came with it to make it look a little more like the version 1. For painting, I did mostly Games Workshop. Did it through an airbrush, did the base coat to the airbrush, did a wash with some tan, and then painted the brown on, did a wash on those. Obviously a wash on the gun here. To replicate the kind of vintage style V1 pistol, I took one of the vectors, cut the stock off. I kind of wish I'd kept the stock on now to make it look more like the original, but oh well. And then I trimmed the handle off and painted it up there. Interchangeable heads. This was what I'd originally started to use for the head, but I found another head that I liked, so I talked to my co-host JD, co-host of General Geekery, which we post on this channel, and he suggested I go with that one instead. He also is disappointed that I did not paint a mustache on her, because it's not a Rock Viper custom without a mustache, but she's not getting a mustache. All right, so the last part of the equipment, and if you've watched any of those episodes of General Geekery, you know one of my favorite things to do, or one of my favorite things about the old vintage Real American Hero figures was the amount of equipment that they came with. So I tend to give my customs a lot of equipment. So this is kind of a two-piece, although it's glued in the back, vest. It's all the stuff's from Marauder Task Force. So it's just the harness attached to the female vest with a magazine pouch on it. As you can see, I've filled in the extra holes. You can see the holes on the inside. I always try and fill in the holes with some sculpting stuff. I did the same thing on the back. You can see the holes in the back there. I always try and fill in the holes on my vests to make them look more realistic. On this, I've attached another one of those like D-ring with some more like carabiners attached to it. And on this D-ring, there's like a rock hammer, piton hammer here. And that is removable. That has a clasp, just a jewelry clasp. So that is, she could take the hammer off. And the same thing on the figure. You can see that she's got an axe. So that axe is on a jewelry clasp. So that axe is removable. One of the other things I did, not on the original figure, but I gave her a, as you can see on the backpack too, I gave her a Cobra sigil water slide decal. Just kind of update of my own. I had to use a new sealant, Army Paints sealant, because I am out of the stuff I normally use. So it's a little glossier than I would prefer, but it seems to work pretty well. We'll put that to a test here in a minute when I put the equipment on her to see if I get any paint rubs. Usually I don't worry too much about that, since my figures all end up on cards anyway. Since I card all my customs, I gear them up to take pictures, and then that's going to be the end of it. But we'll gear her up here in a second. I'm going to gear her up real quick, but to do that, I'm going to do it as part of the video. So pull off the head. Should be interesting because the rare earth magnets like to, in her back, like to grab the climbing gear. So, see how that goes. To try and get this on camera, sorry. So the best, let's see here, yeah, see. Not the easiest thing here. There we go. There we go. So the gear to swing forward. One of the other things I forgot to mention is, of course, she has a pistol, removable pistol in the right leg holster. So there's kind of her with the harness and the vest on. I do her head, and I'm going to get a couple shots like this. So let's see here. Let's see how that. See that you can see the space in. Whoops, sorry. See the space in there between her back and the backpack. I mean, there's got to be. Geez, I don't know. Probably at least a 1/4 of an inch gap. I mean, it doesn't stay, it doesn't snap on like the magnets do when they're together. But, man, it's strong enough to hold that backpack in place, even with that gap in there, which is phenomenal. So, I mean, it doesn't, you know, there's a little give in it, but I'm going to take that off for a minute. I'll tell you what, that sure solves a lot of problems, because, I mean, making the peg long enough on that backpack to go into her back would have been a pain in the ass. I'm not actually sure I would have done that. One of my pet peeves is the figures that come with more gear than they can carry, which was a problem with the Rock Viper, because it had, well, not with the Rock Viper, because her rifle pegged into her backpack. I kind of forgot to do that on this, so she doesn't actually have a way to carry that V1 style pistol. There you go. There's a more geared up approach. And of course, like I mentioned before, backpack just comes off, but the you know, rocket launcher is positionable, which I think is kind of a neat trick, kind of a nice update to the original. And of course, her grappling hook comes out. I'm not going to bother taking it out, but of course it's removable. I'm going to take backpack off for a second. I'm not real impressed with the sealant, although I probably should have let it dry a bit more. All right, there she is with the head swap. Give her a gun back. Although I haven't had any paint rubs, so it's a little tacky still, is the thing. Probably should have let it dry a little bit. Oops. Well, caught on the gear. There we go. There you go. There's my female Rock Viper all geared up. Everything's interchangeable. Obviously, we got the positional rocket launcher, the removable grapple hook, the homage to the V1 and gun and pistol, removable climbing gear, removable axe, and removable rock hammer. So there we are. All right, so that was my female Cobra Rock Viper custom. Give me some feedback on this video. Was this interesting? Was it helpful? Was it useful? Was it boring? Do you want to see more of these as I get customs done? I'm going back to work next week. Probably only gonna get 1 or 2 more customs done. I did a shitload of customs last year. So I've kind of been taking it easy. I'll be gone another 2 months. I'll have a bunch of video reviews when I get back. But yeah, I'm hoping to get a couple more customs done before I go. And then when I get home, it'll be summer. So I'm gonna be doing some photography outside because I haven't been home in July, probably in about 10 years, which really kind of sucks. But yeah, if you found it useful, interesting at all on just a review of my custom action figures, let me know. And I'll do more as I do more figures. If it's not, just tell me that this sucked and it was boring and don't bother. As always, do that fun social media stuff. Like, share, subscribe, and comment below. And thanks for watching.